Hello to everyone. I made already few videos about the European elections and about of the perspectives that we might see from a political, economical point of view of the new majority that has taken place in Europe. Before going on with the presentation, please remember that there is my book about Europe, Eurodementia. This is the Spanish version. I didn't receive the English copy. It's on the way, but it seems lost. Anyway, in the description of this video, you will have the opportunity to find the link in order to purchase my book. Thanks to my book, you will understand, you will comprehend everything you need to know about Europe. So don't miss it. But what's going on in Europe? Well, I think during the last day there has been the European Council, which is the meeting of the 27 prime ministers of Europe. They are not all prime ministers. We have, for example, the case of Emmanuel Macron, that actually is a president. So, in this meeting, there was supposedly the idea of selecting the top jobs. And what are the top jobs within the European Union? Well, the first one is the President of the European Commission, that is actually the body that has more power among the different European institutions. Then the second place is the President of the European Council. At the moment, the President is Charles Michel, but he will be replaced in the decision by Antonio Costa. And then, which is a socialist from Portugal. And then you have in charge of the foreign affairs. In that case has been selected Kaja Kallas, which is the prime minister at the moment of Estonia. I imagine that when she will take the position, she will renounce of her job in Estonia in order to take charge of the work at European level. And the most important position, obviously, the one that is the chief of the European Commission, is Ursula von der Leyen. So she is gonna be reconfirmed. After this decision, the final vote will be on the shoulders of the European Parliament, and in that vote they will approve or not all the places that had been negotiated at European Council level. But what happened in this European Council? It has been, in my opinion, disgusting and disrespectful, especially toward Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy and the President of the Conservative group within the European Parliament. Why I'm saying that? Well, for several reasons. First, we have the people of Europe that have expressed the will of a change from the Agenda 2030, the Green Pact, from all the decisions that had been implemented at European level that are on the shoulders of the common European citizens and that are impoverishing the European citizen, especially the middle class and the low-income class. So, one of the last decisions that has been taken at European level is to impose a taxation on airfare. So, the cost of displacing within Europe will be more expensive. Finally, who's going to affect this cost? The common average citizen or the super rich that they have their own plane? Obviously, the common citizens. So the common citizens, little by little, are becoming poorer. And why this taxation has been imposed? For ecological and green idea. Europe has been run since ever by a coalition formed by the Popular Party that is supposed to be a conservative party, but actually it is a socialist party. I mean, within the different countries, they have a conservative speech, but in reality, they are always allied with the socialists. So, within the internal fights between the different governments, you see the two-party fighting between them. In fact, they are the same thing. Exactly the same thing, in my opinion. Then you have the socialist, and then you have the liberal, the Macronian liberal, which are another kind of socialist aggregation, and finally the Greens, that the Greens are the extreme left, if we can say that support usually these ideas and the implementation of this idea. But this time it has been particularly disgusting. I'm telling you why. Well, first of all, Meloni was the only leader among all the others that has won in his country and at European level. All the others lost a loss of votes. Emmanuel Macron, for example, Olaf Scholz, for example, even Pedro Sánchez in Spain lost votes. But they, despite having lost votes, decided to disrespect Giorgia Meloni and to let her out of the negotiations. So, what could Giorgia Meloni do at this point? Well, I think they have to decide, Giorgia Meloni and her group, if they support in sometimes the majority that has been shaped, or that they join the other parties that had been excluded and to make a strong opposition. I would suggest, in that case, a strong opposition, because if you get mixed with your enemy, at the end you became the same of what, politically speaking, because you consider the people that have different idea in respect of your idea. Having said that, we can have a little analysis also on what is really in charge in Europe. Well, these names that have been selected are the demonstration that Europe is an oligarchy. Europe is not a democratic entity. It's an oligarchy where citizens have the image of having the power of selecting the people that will represent them. But in fact, they have zero power. They count practically nothing. Because it seems also that these names had been selected before of the election. And first, Giorgia Meloni, that at the moment represents the third group within the European Union, has been excluded. Then, the names that had been approved had been previously selected. So it seems from the way they acted that they don't care about the citizens and about the will of their citizens. This is the reality. But who counts really? Well, actually in Europe, the big corporation, the big company are the ones that are running the agenda through their lobbyists. Citizens simply have an impression of deciding when at the end of the day they don't decide anything. But yes, they have to pay, thanks to an absurd taxation, the cost of this pachydermic entity that is represented by Europe. So, let me know what you think about the European election, give me your like, share this video with your friends, and remember to subscribe to the channel.